do it?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Hello everyone, welcome to Essential Home Improvements, your place for knowledge that saves you money. Today we're going to talk about laminate floor. Today's product that I have is a higher quality. It's got a wood grain finish to it. This wood grain is a Hawaiian curly oak. It's got nice grain patterns to it. The product also has a self-adhering backing. And this is important because when you're pricing out your floor, it will require a padding underneath. That can get expensive, so you have to combine that with the price of the flooring to get the actual cost. This product had the backer already installed on it, so the price for the flooring was the price for everything that I needed. Also, this is a lot thicker. This is a 10mm floor. This is going to hold up pretty well. The top part is a wood grain look. It's kind of like a countertop type of finish to it, durability wise. So these are planks that interlock together, and today we're going to show you how to install this. However, when you're looking at a laminate floor, there's other options available for you. There's a lot of products now that are vinyl plank laminate. One example of a vinyl plank laminate is this one here. It's got a similar wood grain to it, but it's a lot thinner, and this is all vinyl. So this is the back part that lays down, and then each piece will interlock with a self-sticking adhesive. So if you want to save yourself a lot of money, you can install this yourself. It's fairly simple, straightforward. If you have carpet in an existing room, you just tear the carpet out, prep the floor. You can go over existing floors, like if you have a linoleum floor, you can just go right over that. The main thing to remember when you're dealing with a laminate floor of any type is this is basically a floating floor. Everything interlocks to one piece, and the whole floor is going to move around throughout the year. Different expansion and contraction, different temperatures. The floor is going to do different things. So when you're installing the product, you want to make sure that you have a gap, at least a 1/4 inch, sometimes it's a 1/2 inch, depends on what they require, all around the floor wherever it interlocks. That way the floor can always move. If the floor doesn't move, it can bow and buckle on you and have a wavy floor. So let's go ahead and get started to show you how it's done. Today we're going to get ready to put the floor down. So what I want to do is take some screws and go around all the joists. And I'll put screws into the floor joists to prevent any squeaking. I have just a couple squeaks in this room, so these screws will take it out. And then what I'm going to do is go around and sand all the seams, sand any of these lumps, anything that'll catch the floor, sand everything smooth and flat. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to take some screws. I'm going to find the nail in the floor joist where it was before, about 1 inch next to it. Come in, put a screw on every single one. Okay, now that stiffens it up as you walk on it. No more squeaking, no more bouncing. The best tip or trick I can tell you is to be very careful when you first start out. Make sure everything is lined up perfectly. The more time you spend in the beginning, the better the project's going to go for you. So it's really important to make sure that you have a good gap all the way around the floor and that everything lines up the way you want it. Get your seams where they need to be. It's really important the floor be clean as you go. I like to use the vacuum every row. Now the project is starting to take shape. You just keep going the same way you've always done. Cut your ends, start on the other end, snap it all together, pound it tight, and just keep going. Alright, now we're down to our last 2 rows. I have to take one of these and rip it for the length. So I'm going to check along the edge to make sure the measurements are even. If they're not, I'm going to have to cut the unevenness into it. So we're going to measure and see how we did. Okay, now my pieces are cut. I'm going to go ahead and put the last 2 rows in and finish it up. Luckily, my wall was pretty straight. After taking 4 measurements, I took the smallest one and ripped them all to that size. I cut mine on a table saw, but you can cut yours by hand just as well. Alright, this is the best part of the job, the very last piece. Measure it, cut it, and get it in. So it fits! Yeah! Okay, so we've cut our base shoe. We're going to go ahead and fit it. If everything looks good, we're going to nail it in. One thing to keep in mind when installing the trim on a floating floor is the floor wants to rise up. So you have to push down on the flooring while you're nailing it. You want to make sure not to nail through the floor. Make sure you nail it into the baseboard because otherwise it'll pinch. If it pinches, then your floor could buckle right in the middle. So when I do the outside corners, I like to do these first so they look really good. Because when you walk in the room, that's all you're going to see is that joint sticking out. So I want to pay real close attention to these outside corners. Get them where I like them perfectly. Line it up and then hit them with a nail. So now we're ready for the final touches. Just put the covers back on, and put screws in them. Finally, here is the finished product. Boy, does it look good. Well, listen everyone, thanks for watching. We couldn't do it without you. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below and subscribe if you like it.